goodness. Hello, 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 and welcome. It's me, and me happens to be Joy Ruffin, coming to you from the Sunshine State. Not so sunny today. It's a little cool and chilly, but it's a nice change. Tonight, my friend, it's all about leading ladies, leaving legacies, living legacies. That's what we're all about, sharing our journeys, our gifts, our skills, and our talents. And tonight, our guest, Marcia Whyte, is a native of Chicago who moved to Tennessee several years ago and hasn't left yet. I love that yet part. We'll have to ask her about that. She's a product of Chicago State and Roosevelt universities and theological seminary, on and on and on. Most of you know that it's not so much the backstory that we're interested in. We want to know more of the front story. Professionally, she has done and has quite a bit of a phenomenal background, a former paralegal, employed 10 years plus, award-winning sales career. And here's what I really love, and you're going to like this too. She says she is multilingual, fluently speaking mama, CEO, church, gratitude, and English. Now, don't you love an introduction like that? We're talking real here. This is absolutely authentic. She is going to share with us, by the way, let me back up a little bit. Marcia is a life coach and a business coach. And from my way of thinking, I think they really kind of belong together. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. And there's so much more here I should share with you about Marcia, but I want to bring her over and I want you to say hello and welcome. She's here. Marcia, hello, hello, and welcome. So good to see you.
Hi, Joy. Good to see you this evening, and it's wonderful to be here with you. Finally.
Let me say this. I like the finally. And let me tell you why. We haven't met one-on-one, but we know each other and know each other well. And your big email to me last night saying, I understand the issues and concerns that you have about your hubby. And if you want to cancel and reschedule, we can. And that just touched me more than I can say. But we are soldiers. We just march on.
We go push through.
Go, and go. So let me ask you this. I mentioned that you are a life coach and a business coach, and I love the two combined. Tell us how you came to that and why you love it so much.
Well, there's a saying first of all, good evening, everyone.
Yes.
There is a saying that says, be the change you wish to see in the world.
Yes.
Because we're always looking for someone else to do it for us, to start it for us, to think of it for us. And then we'll kind of maybe slip in on supporting roles. And given all that I have been through, there's an old song of the church. And for those who didn't catch that in my bio, and thank you so much for that beautiful introduction. I'm a former pastor. I'm still a minister, but I don't pastor anymore. There's a song in the church that says, I still have my joy after all the things I've been through. And a lot of people don't, especially women, because we take things to heart. We're very sensitive and we're oriented to be and socialized to be that way. And so I wanted to be there because I don't believe God gives you any test, any journey that you're not supposed to learn from and position yourself to give back from. And so that's how it happened. And then with the business coach, it just kind of came for the rest of my experience, which we'll get into, I guess, in a little bit.
Yes, thank you for that. And thank you for saying hello and thank you to the audience. I'm so beyond that I always, not always, but most times I do. So I see that we have my loyal and faithful here and probably a few of your friends as well. Thank you all for being here. Now, I heard what you said about you used to be, well, not used to be, that you were a minister. You are still a minister.
I'm still a minister.
But
I'm just not a pastor anymore.
That's what I heard. All right. And may I ask why you segued away from that at this point in time?
Well, some of it was things that I don't share, but sometimes there are seasons in our lives.
Yes.
That you have to be really aware of. And I'm at an age in my life and season in my life, Joy, that I knew that chapters were closing, pages were turning. And so I was ready to embrace the next chapter. And even though this isn't the church, this is a way to do ministry in ways that I hadn't previously imagined. So, yeah.
That was an interesting question, and your response and reply back was right on point because there's so many ways to minister. And it
Yes.
doesn't necessarily always have to be from the pulpit. That's what you said.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I get that. Because I was born and raised more or less in the church, so I really understand that. Again, business coach attached to life coach.
Mhm.
How you explain it, but tell us a little bit more about how you combine those two together.
Okay. Well, there's two different niches, but here's the thing. Our lives are intertwined with our business, whether we're the business owner or an operator, the manager, an employee, or whatever we call ourselves or whatever role we feel. So you can't really have a business without bringing some of your personal self into it. And what
Yes,
I found is the reason that I was able to start and build and maintaining a business is because of the life experiences. So to me, like you, they go together.
yes.
There's a book. I know there was a famous book, Women Are From Venus and Men Are From Mars. But there was a Christian book that a lot of people don't know about that said men are waffles and women are spaghetti. And the thing was, men like things in little boxes, and women, no shade, just different, not better or worse. But women are spaghetti. And so everything intertwines. And that's how I think of my practice, because your life and your business are really intertwined. In a bowl of spaghetti, the noodles, the sauce, everything touches, and yet you get something from every part of it. So that's the best way I think I can share, in my little way, what I
You
do.
could you could not share that any better. I have never heard that, and I like to think that I'm a voracious and wide, reader. But you'll have to give me the title of that book because the way that you expressed and explained it, I mean, it's spot on. It
Oh,
really
thank
is
you.
true, isn't it?
Well, yeah, and I'm a little avant-garde, so, but it's okay because I'm in a season in my life where I'm getting to know, as I rebuild, and we'll get into my story in a little bit. As
Yes,
I rebuild and reinvent certain parts of Marcia and rediscover,
yes,
I'm beginning to like this chick a little bit.
yes.
So yeah.
I do get that. And one of the things that I note that you are gung ho and very much wanting to be of service and is helping women, people, not just women, people, men and women, to discover or rediscover their purpose. And purpose is a very big word in my circle of life. So tell us how you, as much as you can, go about helping one to rediscover or to be more in line and on with their purpose.
Well, first of all, we have to be willing to be honest with ourselves. That's
Ooh,
the thing. One of the things and that's a difficult pill, because here's the thing. On social media, especially, everybody is not who they post to be. All right. So I'm going
yes.
to say that again for those who didn't catch that. Everybody on social media is not always who they post to be. That's not slang. That's an actual thing. So you
Oh,
have to be willing to do the work. And one of the things that I practice in both the life and the business coaching is mindset. All right. Because the most, what is the word I'm looking for? Abandoned and
uh-huh.
neglected real estate, and yet it's the most powerful thing that we own, is
Yes.
between our two ears. And so if we can cancel out, we don't have to worry about the naysayers outside. We sometimes can be our own worst enemy. And so if I can get you, and it helps me to push clients, and friends and family, if I can push you to develop more positive thoughts and feelings on a daily basis,
Uh-huh.
then you can be in touch with who you are, and your purpose will show itself. Not necessarily your passion, because you can be really passionate about stuff, but that's not really in alignment with who you are. And so when you begin to quiet yourself, because I practice both prayer as a Christian, but I also, in an ardent ardent, I think is the word,
Yes.
right,
Ardent.
um practitioner of meditation. Because see, prayer is a conversation with God,
Yes.
two-way. Meditation is a conversation with yourself. And you need both of those to figure out your purpose, because it teaches you to be still. And so one complements the other, it doesn't cancel the other out. So I'm very particular, I'm very purposeful when I talk to clients. Are you ready to do the work? You're not going to like me all the time, but I'm not here to be your friend. I'm here to help you. And sometimes it's difficult to help people. But here's the thing, Joy, from what you know of my story, if
Yes.
I can do it, Anybody can do it.
Yes.
Trust and believe what I tell you.
Marcia, yes, I love that expression, by the way. Roz, my friend Roz gave me that expression. I know that you know her, and I love that
Roz
expression
got
that
it
she
from
used.
me, but
Trust
don't
and
tell her you
believe.
said that. Don't tell her. Roz took that from me, but don't
She's
tell her.
here. Roz is here.
Coaches, Roz,
Hello,
if you're
everyone.
watching.
Let me say to you, Marcia, that you're bringing to my awareness and my insight a lot of things that it's clicking here for me.
Mhm.
And what you said about a lot of people, I can't verbatim repeat what you said, but what I got is that a lot of people on the online internet business, on the internet, they're not who they post to be.
Mhm.
And that's a lesson over time that we all learn. And you
Mhm.
have to be very mindful of the connections that you make
Yes.
because there are a
Yes.
lot of people here, and I'm not being negative and pushing the
Mhm.
envelope too
Mhm.
far, but yet we have to be very, very mindful about who we bring into our circle because you want people that are honest, loyal, and trustworthy.
Yes.
And there are in every
Mhm.
business, a lot of charlatans. So I love what
Yes.
you said about meditation and prayer.
But
Meditation is
even to
within
that,
yourself.
Joy, if I can jump in here,
Oh, please do.
sometimes it's because people are still evolving and they're not comfortable with the process because the process is difficult. It's just painstaking. And so when I say they're not who they post to be, all of us wear a public mask that we take off, just like women wear makeup, and we take it off at night.
Yes,
It's supposed to enhance what we have. What we have to learn, and that comes through mindset, prayer, and meditation, is the makeup, the mask, doesn't it's not to the purpose is not to make you something you're not. It's supposed to bring out and enhance what you already have.
Marcia, you should be my life coach because
We'll
you're
talk about that
speaking,
after the show.
you I'm more or less that too, but you are speaking my language. I love the way you express and gave us another way to look at how you enhance like makeup.
Mhm.
My projection is the same for image, presence, and
Mhm.
all of that as far as how you present yourself and how
Mhm.
you offer your gifts and tools and talents to the masses. It's very good. And the other thing that I like that you said, I want us to get back to that because I don't think that many people maybe make the separation between prayer and meditation.
Mhm.
Speak to that a wee bit more.
Okay, prayer, as I said, at least for me,
Yes.
um, is a conversation with the divine. Okay, for me as a Christian, it's Jesus, the Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Ghost,
Uh-huh.
because it's a two-way street. It is as I call it, a dialogue with divinity. All right, so
Mm-hmm.
we bring our petitions, we give thanksgiving, all of that, and then we have God talk back to us. With meditation, it's very still. Oftentimes, one of the things that I do is I use crystals and stones and whatnot because they have their properties of the earth, and
Yes.
they and God made the earth, and so with their elements of the earth, it brings certain energies into our awareness. I guess the
Yes.
best way I can say it, and
Mhm.
so we go deep inside of ourselves, which oftentimes gives us a prayer life, a better prayer life, a more defined prayer life.
Yes.
But again, it's part of the work that is difficult, Joy. It's sometimes uncomfortable because the only person we cannot hide from is ourselves.
This is what I wanted to come to next because in the beginning, when you were expressing and explaining to us what you do and why and how, one of the salient points that you made right up front and obvious is that the person has to be ready.
Hmm.
They have to
Hmm.
want to do the work.
Yes.
So my next question to you was going to be the people who come to you, when they come to you, you said that you don't necessarily have to be their best friend, but you want to guide and support them to where you know they need to go and where they even know they need to go. How do you gingerly do that and keep them on track with what they need to do to get to their purpose and rediscover who they are?
Oh, that. How long we have on the show? No, I'm just kidding. um, there's paperwork involved because let me tell you something. I was in business and law for a long time. I'm a former paralegal, all right? So I know
Yes,
all
yes,
about
yes.
the agreement, the contract, whatever you're comfortable. And it says, are you willing to do this work? There's a series of questions that I ask because I want them to be of a mindset to come in here and work. I'm going to push you. You are hiring me. You are investing. You're not investing in me. You're investing in yourself. But there are going to be difficult, uncomfortable spaces that you will find within yourself. And I will help give you some tools to fill those spaces or to help you manage those spaces more effectively. But I can always revert back to you said you would do the work. Now, having said that, on a discovery call, I don't necessarily take every client. I'm not always the best fit for someone. And though, do I work for a living? Yeah, because my rich uncle that, is leaving me this inheritance hasn't contacted me yet. So I'm just filling time until that happens. But I want it to be a good experience for both of us because I'm about the customer experience in my business.
Yes,
I want it to be a good relationship, working, professional, respected relationship between us. Because the other thing I don't want you to do, is I don't want you to badmouth me and say it didn't work, because the story will never come out that maybe you didn't do the work. Um, and you take that with a grain of, you kind of take some of it because you're a big girl, you're professional, it
right.
happens.
Yes, yes.
But the other thing is, if you haven't done anything, and then you tell somebody that I was your coach, and there's nothing to show, we have a problem because, in essence, you are saying that I don't know what I'm doing, and I've been through too much to
Yes.
not know what I'm doing. Not that I know it all, Joy. That's
No,
not
no.
it. But that which I am good at, I'm very good at.
See, none of us know it all,
No.
even in doing what we love.
Mm-hmm.
One of the beauties in doing what we love is discovering much more about what we love through those that we're working with.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's the beauty of
Absolutely.
it. And what I value that you said is that not everyone you're going to be a good fit for.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're first initially starting out, that sometimes is painful because you want to be supportive and helpful to everyone.
And some of us just want the money. You know what I mean?
I was getting to that because
Yeah.
when you spoke earlier about so many people are not what they post to be, they're posting buy me, buy me, buy me, buy me, buy me what I'm offering, and
Mm-hmm.
they're not offering any of themselves. Most people, not even knowing it, want to build good, hearty, healthy relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't want just a quick overnight stand. Anybody can have and get that. Yet, when you're building a business, you want relationships that are hearty and wholesome that you can
Yes.
stick and stay with.
And if you don't, you should. I'm just
Yes.
saying, you
Well,
know.
sometimes when you're starting out, I think, Marcia, it's hard for people to decipher if they're new to the internet and new to this type of a business. It's
Mm-hmm.
hard to because it's so muddy with so many different
There's so
personas.
much noise. Yes.
Noise is the word that people use. I like muddy, but it's the same thing in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Find the person that you are a good fit with because
Yes.
there's nothing more disheartening when you don't have that person. Yet you started off by saying that you get your lesson there as well.
Mm-hmm.
You get
Absolutely.
a lesson when
Absolutely.
that person is not for you.
Yes.
But you still want one of the things that I was taught as a young girl, and I know that it's your mindset too, is you don't ever close a door.
No.
You keep the door open, you never know when you'll have to walk through it again, and you do it with kindness. You don't
Yes.
have a bad mouth. Gossip is just a waste of time and energy.
Well, and then part of it, Joy, I think that where we are, this is again just me. Um, we have become so disconnected and distant from each other because it's so easy to just send a text, send an email, log on to social media on whatever platform. We haven't. We have to rediscover. In one of the trainings that I do,
Uh-huh.
I quote the old Chinette, the paper plates people. I
Yes.
actually play one of their commercials. It's a marvelous 30-second spot. You can find it on YouTube. And it's called The Lost Art of Reconnecting. And it shows a young woman, a millennial, going through a living, the people are kind of frozen like that mannequin challenge. And
Yes.
she's looking at it, and it says, there was a time when we went to people's homes instead of their home pages. that kind of a thing.
Yes.
Neighbors were neighborly. And so every now and then that happens. And, of course, it's showing the barbecue with the Chinese plates, which is the point. But for me, it talks about how disconnected we have been, but we can change that. We can change that.
It's
If we're willing to do the
the
work.
work.
The other thing, and let me, before I forget, because I'm at that
It's
age where
okay.
when it leaves, it leaves. Um, a lot of people don't understand truly what coaching is. That's
Oh,
the other thing.
yes.
Coaching is not you paying me to sit here and tell you how to run your life or business. Coaching is really a set of guided questions that evolve out of our conversations because you have the answers within you. It's almost like when Dorothy and the crew got to Oz
Yes.
and Glinda the Good Witch said, all the answers, oh, I'm so sorry. All the
That's
answers
okay.
that you've needed have been inside you all
Yes.
along.
Mm.
And so when you have a coach that doesn't do anything more than tell you this and tell you that, and fuss, you're not paying me to be your mother.
Yes.
You're paying me to guide you through some things. And Joy, I read a lot. I subscribe to blogs. I'm in classes. I have a coach myself. I don't trust coaches that don't have
Yes.
coaches.
Going to.
But I'm willing to do the work so that I can serve other people better. But I have similar questions as well for myself.
Mm.
So, I discover and then I give back to my clients in an even more, I was going to say more better, but that's horrible language.
It
But we're
happens
going to go with it
sometimes.
because it begs the point, because more better,
I understand what you're saying. And you picked up and shared with us one of my favorite movies, books of all time, The Wizard of Oz, because
Mhm.
home and the
Yes,
gifts are all within us. Oh
yes.
my God, do I love that. And each and every year, as the years go by, I began to see, sense, and feel that and know that, embrace that, and accept that. So, and the way that you explain what a coach is all about and how he or she supports you to help you to get all of this that's there up and out,
Hmm.
that you can use it. I love that. So,
Thank
that said, tell us who, and I heard you say you have a coach. We all have a coach. If we
you.
have any kind of a noodle here, we all have a coach, more or less. Who are some of your favorite people on the internet now that you follow?
In the coaching world or just in
Yes,
general?
coaching world, in the
In
coaching
the
world.
coaching world. Um, well, oh my gosh, I'm going to get in trouble for leaving somebody off
Uh-uh.
the list.
Oh, well.
Um, Amber Aziza is a fiend. She is a real fiend. My coach Tawana, who is known as the LinkedIn professor, is another good one. Um, let me see who else. Shamika Tankerson is a wonderful woman. Beverly Wallflower.
Let me stop you for a minute. The first
Mhm.
person you mentioned, you said she's a what? I didn't get that. She's
A
a fiend?
fiend. She's a fiend. She's a beast. I mean, she goes really hard for her client. I have so much respect for this young woman. I meant that in the best possible light. Sometimes
Oh,
I go into my street vernacular. Sorry. Um, sorry. But Amber is amazing. She is very accomplished. She is a millennial, and her target market is millennials. Don't ask me how I got involved in it, but I have millennials in my home. Okay, but before that woman was 30 years old. And I think she's 30. She's either 32 or 34. Before she was 30 years old, she had built and sold two different multi-million dollar companies.
woohoo.
So I have mad respect for her. Taki Moore, Taki, is another phenomenal coach. And a friend of mine, Akia Taylor, is also a very, very good coach too. So I surround myself, Jim Rohn says we're the sum total of the people that
Yes.
we surround ourselves with. So I try to surround myself with people that I aspire to be like. And they challenge me all the time. Yeah.
This is what I like. I like it when I meet people who challenge me because none of us are always right and all that. Now, if you don't mind, we have a few minutes here. I
Mhm.
don't know how much you want to share about your story and how you came to this, a tragic besties that you've had in your life. But if you could share a little bit about that and how that brought you to relationship coaching and how relationships are much more important than transactions in business,
Yes.
because that's what you expound on a lot. And I love that. So share with us a little bit about how you came to that. I think we might know, but let's hear it anyway.
Okay. Because there are many who don't know the story.
Yes,
My story is one I like to say of resilience and rebuilding.
yes.
And it came out of a conversation that happened in mid-July of 2014. And it was actually an 8-word phrase or an 8-word statement that my husband made to me.
Mhm.
Um, the problem was well, let me just back up. My husband um, was a wonderful man. We were friends forever before we got married. One of
Yes.
those two brilliant people who took forever to figure it out, but nonetheless, we got
Mm.
there. And we had been together almost 30 years. He was in the fight of his life with AML. For those who don't know, that's acute myeloid leukemia.
Yes.
And so he was in treatment, and I was working for a sales company. And so I would sit in his hospital room literally with a Bluetooth in one ear and the other ear open so I could hear these specialists, because with the chemo cocktails, he was in and out. Okay. And eventually I went to one of our VPs and said, "Hey, this is what I'm dealing with. Can I have some grace with upcoming deadlines? I may need some." And he gave me a reply that let me know that no, we're not going to give you any grace, basically, after over 10 years of making them a heck of a lot of money. All right.
Mm.
And so so I left. And after a couple of weeks, my husband noticed, "You're here every day, like all day, every day. What's up?" And I finally had to tell him because I didn't want to. He was kind of battling enough.
Yes.
And he said, "Oh, you weren't supposed to be there now anyway. It's no longer serving you. Because the deal was when you weren't happy, you weren't going to do it." And I said, "But babe, we got things like the mortgage and the lights and the
Yes.
food and that." And he said, "No, do something else." And I said, "Like what?" And he said, "Start your own business." And I said, "Do you really think I can do that?" And he said, "Yeah." And he said, "Doing what?" And I said, "Doing what?" And he said, "Teach people how to treat people. That's what you do best. And it's second nature to you. And it's so needed in business." And
Oh
then I
my.
said, "Do you really think that I can do that? There's a market for that. I could pull it off." And the 8 words that he said changed my life. He said,
Oh.
"Trust your gut, trust the process, trust God." Trust your gut, trust the process, trust God. Those are the opening 8 words in my book, my first book. And
Ah,
I've been doing that ever since. And I'm so glad that I made the decision to be true to not only those words, but to myself and the promise that I made him. Because, Joy, I lost him just a few weeks later. And I could never have lived
mm.
with myself were I to have traded my soul for a dollar, you
Yes.
know.
Yeah.
And it's not been without a struggle, but I'm in the process of rebuilding, and this is my purpose. And so, with the help of the Lord, some good friends, some good coaching, and some good therapy, you know, um,
Thank you for
I'm
sharing.
where I am. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that story.
Thank
That's a
you for
beautiful
letting me.
story. It's interesting how we all come to do what we do and the reason that we're doing it and what the outcome is that we want. And it's always to be of service and help and support
Yes.
people. Now, I know that I'm going to be putting up all of your links where people can connect and
There are
contact.
a lot of them, I know.
That's good. That's good. You never know. But in conjunction, you had a free gift. Tell us a little bit about that. Because for whatever reason, I wasn't able to get the link up here, but I will make sure it goes up so that when it goes on Joy's TV and you get this video that you can use, the link will be there. And I don't know
Okay.
how long you want to offer that free gift, but we'll put a time limit or something. But tell us what you're.
No, the free gift is there. The free gift is for your community. Okay.
Okay.
Because you never know. I never discount who needs what when. All right. That's not for me. I went through it to help somebody else. So we're not gonna limit it. God didn't limit me, and so I'm not gonna limit it. The gift is an actual, instead of, I took it off of Amazon. It's still on Amazon, but I created a PDF of the book so you don't have to buy the book on Amazon. So
Uh-huh.
you're going to get my best-selling book. It was my first book, and it's called Gratitude Speak, which is my company.
Yes,
for
I love
Lost
that.
to Leadership. And the link is bit.ly/GSL2L for Gratitude Speak Lost to Leadership -PDF.
Okay.
Yeah. And I will make sure that you have that after the show to put that
Yeah,
up.
because with the link that I got, for whatever reason, it didn't work, but I'll
It's
make
okay.
sure that that goes up here so that
Okay.
everyone can see it and get it and use it accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say time flies. So before we say so long for
Oh my
now,
goodness.
Marcia, I say, and you know that I say it from my heart, I love what you're doing. I love what you're all about.
Thank
I
you.
met you through another friend that I met one-on-one, Roz, and I'm so
Love
honored that
her.
you,
Love her.
yes, don't, how could you not love her? She is a real gem,
She is.
Gem. But in the
But don't tell her
meantime,
just in case she's watching.
she's watching. She put the link up here, I think. I don't know what's up there. I'll take a look later. But are there any other, do you have any questions for the audience, or do you have anything you want to leave us with, or anything that you want to share with us before we say so long for now?
Well, first of all, I just want to thank you again for having me. I want to thank the community for taking the time to listen to, what I share and what I bring. Joy has my contact information. Feel free to reach out to me. But I will say this, whether you ever work with me or not, please understand that whatever you feel you are called to do, trust your gut,
Mhm,
trust the process,
mhm.
trust God. Those I leave you with.
Nothing better than that. And I like the order that you put them. And again, the work that you're doing is to be honored and prized from here until eternity. I'm honored that you were able to take this time and share it with us. The time comes and goes very quickly. This will go down, be uploaded, put here, there, and yonder. It will get to you, and then you'll be able to do whatever you wish to with it.
Thank you.
And time flies. And thank you for coming, and thank you for sharing this time and space with us. I there's no doubt that a lot of people here in the audience and those who will be watching the replay
Hmm.
got a lot of salient information from you that they'll be able to use as they move onward and forward.
I pray so. And I
So,
thank you for your ministry, Joy, because this is a ministry. You sharing and letting ladies give their legacy. So kudos to you.
oh, bless your heart. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to put you to the side for just a second.
Okay.
My heart, I'm telling you, this week has been more than what I can tell you. But don't go. Stay there. And in 1 second, I'll come back to share some other things with you. Thank you for
Okay.
spending time with us. I'll see you soon. Okay. Well, does time fly? Yes, it does. And I wanted to keep this show to 30 minutes, but sometimes it goes when you have someone like Marcia and other guests that I've had. I think 30 minutes is too short. I think I'm going to kick it up now for many different reasons because we have a lot of things in process. Maybe 40, 45 minutes, and that will give us more time to breathe. Breathing is something I'm finding difficult to do here this week, but we're managing. May I say thank you all for coming, my loyal and faithful. And I hear a sound back here. I hope it's not coming from me, but most likely it is. But wherever you are and whatever you're doing, be well. Take care of yourself. Health is everything. And remember to join us next Tuesday at 7 and next Wednesday at 7 for another leading lady. And until then, you be and stay well. All the best. And give us a moment or two to get up this channel, this broadcast, so that we will be able to get all the links and be able to contact and stay in touch with Marcia. Until then, you have a great evening, a good week, all the best. We'll see you soon. Until then, so long for now. Cheers.